Vincent Van Gogh, people told him, you can't be a great painter, you only have one ear. You know what he said? I can't hear you.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Phillies sports talk morning show with KJ and Dalt. Proudly powered by 302 Birds. Let's take it to the show.
Good morning, everybody. Of course, welcome to another episode of the Sippin' Sports podcast. No KJ McCoy today, but I got the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan Knight, a.k.a. Broad Street Sports. How you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling good, man. I had a great trip in Washington, D.C. yesterday. The Phillies, even though I couldn't watch it because Apple TV is a disaster and I'm not going to pay for a freaking subscription. It's a great day. It's beautiful outside, and let's have a great show.
Yeah, bro, you hit the nail on the head, and, screw Apple TV, making things very unfun. I know you, me, every dad from, Philadelphia was upset about having to pay for another subscription. But we find out the score of the game. Obviously, the Phillies beat the ass last night of the Yankees, taking them down with the final score of 12-5 in their house, Yankee Stadium. I know KJ was there. Well, not there, but watching in New York, and he'll be there today with Mikey D. That's going to be a ton of fun to see how that matchup goes. And this is our first time playing the Yankees this year. When you think about the Yankees, they're one of the most historic teams in all of sports, not just baseball, in all of sports. So I think it's pretty cool that they're going to be there today. Stay tuned for that content. It's going to be a ton of fun to watch them and what they're doing. But what an ass whooping last night, man. I mean, were you expecting that?
No, and because, when you look at the matchups, you had Taijuan Walker on the mound, and this is about the second start or third start that I've seen out of Walker where he gave you enough. He didn't piss himself. He didn't throw a no-hitter, but he gave you enough to stay in the game and win the ball game. So now it's at the point where it's like, did I expect the Phillies to win? No. Was it impossible? No. But at the same time, when the team gets when they're losing, okay, so when they're down in ball games, you don't see this Phillies team come back like they do. And they may score a couple runs, and the bullpen blows it, right? They shit the bed, whatever. I mean, it happens every night. But you do not see the offense explode and put up 12 runs like they did last night. So I thought Taijuan Walker gave you enough. I thought the bullpen outside of Romano was good. And, it was just – I was happy to see once again. I mean, Turner had a great night. JT Realmuto, who has arguably been, one of our better hitters this entire month, he's been playing, and I think that's going under the radar. He is playing outstanding baseball. Honestly, he's playing outstanding baseball. And my main man, Kyle Schwarber, again, I said this last week after he had that what was it? The home run hitting after the All-Star game. If you don't re-sign this man, that will come back and bite you in the ass. But it's just, I thought the offense, you ever heard the expression, it's like, well, what did you do with my Phillies team? What is it? It's like, yeah, because this is not our Phillies offense. This is not how the Phillies offense plays. But they won the game. They came back, and once they got some runs and came back, they didn't take their foot off the gas, which is something that we haven't seen out of them in a long time.
Yeah, it felt like once they settled in, they really settled in, especially Kyle Schwarber. 2 home runs last night, helping the Phillies take over the Bronx. Love to see it, and would love to see Kyle Schwarber signed to a long-term deal. Obviously, I know we all talk about it. What's going on with that deal? Why the Eagles haven't really extended him, but I think that this key, or not the Eagles, sorry, I'm typing topic names in our YouTube video to try and get more of you guys in here. But the reason why I think the Phillies need to extend Kyle Schwarber is games like last night. I don't care about his age. I don't care about what you say. I mean, just look at the way the guy plays. Actions speak louder than words, in my opinion. And he doesn't seem to be slowing down at all. I think I might have said it in June of last year. Maybe I said it this year. But he had a light June this year for Schwarberfest. I think he's going to go off, and I did say he would go off, I think, in July. And I think it's fair to say he's done pretty damn well in July. So I think he wants to earn that contract. I think the Phillies are going to give it to him, being honest. I do see it happening. I just think it's going to take a little bit longer. But the longer it takes, the more they're going to have to pay. And that's where I think they might want to wise up. What do you think? Do you think Schwarber's coming back?
Well, I hope so. And I don't know if you've seen the report. So when he hit his 1,000th hit, which was one of the home runs last night, I don't know if it was the first one or the second one, but whatever one it was. So he hit this 1,000th hit, and Phillies fans are actually the ones who caught the ball. So then, obviously they want to exchange. And I from the report, they said that there was 3 dudes, and Schwarber assigned 2 baseballs and gave it to 2 out of the 3 guys. And then Schwarber was like, hey, bro, you want to sign baseball? And the kid was like, no, all I want is for you to re-sign with the Phillies. I don't want a baseball. I just want you to re-sign with the Phillies. And I think that message is exactly how every Phillies fan around the league, around the city, just everywhere. We need Kyle Schwarber, and I continue to say it. I don't know what this baseball team would be without Kyle Schwarber. And imagine we lose him next year. We don't it'll be a disaster. Look, if you give him the money. So obviously he said he wants to stay with the Phillies or go to the Reds, or if there's another sleeper team that he may go to, whatever. As long as the Phillies try and match that contract, okay. Like if you give him, look, if the Reds give him this mega deal, the Phillies have to match that mega deal or more. They do that and he still chooses the Reds or another team, fine. So be it. But if the Phillies just pass on it because he wants too much money, it's going to bite you in the ass. And honestly, I'm at the point where you have to do it, but I don't trust Dave Dombrowski. I don't trust him. I don't know if he's willing to spend that money. But you're at the point where it's like, it doesn't matter if you're willing to spend it. You have to. This organization, this fan base will explode if you do not give Kyle Schwarber that contract. If you do not bring Kyle Schwarber back, this fan base will implode. And you will be fired and without a job, Dave Dombrowski, because you've been a freaking disaster. And it will be an extra disaster if you do not re-sign him. So do I think they'll re-sign him? Yeah, probably. But if they don't re-sign him, I at least have to see that they try to match that contract.
Yeah, I agree with that. I want to see at least you put up the same money that another team is willing to put up, because we know that they got it. And baseball is way different. It's not like the NFL where you have the cap. It's very confusing with its cap, right? I don't fully understand it. We'd have to get freaking Ballpark Tommy, the money man, on the show to explain it, for God's sake. But I do think that I want to see at least an offer matched. You're right, Broad. Like, what any other team is willing to pay, the Phillies should be willing to pay at least the same amount, at least, if not more, because it's peanut butter and jelly. I said it on the show a couple months ago as well. Like, it is fair to say over the past 2 years, Kyle Schwarber is just as valuable to this team as Bryce Harper is.
I think he's more valuable. I think he's more valuable.
You said it, not me. Hey, I'm all for it, bro.
Dude, and I'm not even to cut you off, bro, but it's
you're good, man. You're helping further my point. Take it.
But it's like, I love Harper. I still think he's the face of the franchise. Like, let's not, still the face of the franchise, still a top 3 athlete in Philly. For most people, he's arguably 1, right? He's up there, at least top 3. But it's like, what has he done? You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
Schwarber every single year hits 40 homers, 110, 120 RBIs, whatever the case is. He rises to the occasions. I mean, this year, he's just ripping the baseball all over the place. Harper, 0 for 4 last night. And obviously he's been playing hot baseball as of recently. But over the past 2 years, I'd really say since 2022 or that year where or his MVP year, this is not the same Bryce Harper, to be honest with you. I still think he's the face of the team and whatever the case is. But if you really know baseball and you know ball, Kyle Schwarber is more valuable to this baseball team than anybody else. Because when Kyle Schwarber's in a slump, this team's in a slump. You know what I mean? Like when Kyle Schwarber's ripping the baseball, this team follows him. And I think that he's really taken that leader role, especially because Bryce Harper has been out so many times on injuries. He's not playing baseball as consistently as he once was. So he's always out with injuries. And that's when a guy like a Turner, a guy like Castellanos, a guy like Schwarber, they have to step in. And Schwarber plays friggin' every single night. Every single night, man. And it's he's more consistent than Harper. He hits more home runs. He hits more hits more balls into the seats. It's just I'm at that point where I think he's more valuable, man. Because we saw what it was like with Harper, and I'm not taking anything away from Harper, man. He's great, still wonderful, still love him, still glad he's a Philly, and he's again still the face of the franchise. But I don't know what we would be with this baseball team if we didn't have Schwarber, but we had Harper. If the rest of the team is the same and we didn't have Schwarber, I don't know what this team would be like, because there's times Harper shies away and the moment gets too big for him. Castellanos, I just think Schwarber is because he's been there before. He's won a World Series. He's been there a shit ton of times, and so is Harper. But I just, in my heart to heart, I believe Schwarber is the MVP of this baseball team. He is so loved by the majority of fans, man. I don't know. And again, before I let you go, it's just and I'm not trying to take anything away from Harper. He's still the face of the franchise, but it's just Kyle Schwarber is this baseball team right now, and you see it, all the fan base is behind him. The fan base wants him. The fan base needs him. And it's just, and that's just where it's at. And that's what happens when you're out on injury, man. The fan base picks up and loves another player, and that's just where we're at.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Thank you for also furthering that, because it's not just what I see, as you guys can see. It's Kyle. He is, I think, just as valuable, like Broad said, if not more valuable over the past 2-year stretch. We're talking since post 2022 run, that Bryce Harper was insane. That World Series Bryce Harper that almost got the job done. Nothing to take away from Bryce, like Broad said, but rising to the occasion. When you said that, that's what I think is the biggest piece for me, and he always does that. So we'll find out what happens next. But, Broad, anybody that you have at the top of your wish list for the Phillies to trade for?
Well, from what I'm seeing, so the Phillies earlier this week, I don't know if it was, I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it was Wednesday or Thursday. I texted in the 302 Birds chat, and I was like, the Phillies are trying to get O'Neal Cruz. They're calling about him. So they're thinking about bringing in maybe O'Neal Cruz from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm not a big fan of that. The guy's he's just another lefty who can't hit lefties. And he got benched a couple of times because he doesn't hustle. So we don't need any more of these guys on this baseball team. We need guys that show up and play every single night. I'm also hearing, I'm not saying that the Phillies called about this guy, but the teams are calling. And it seems like the Diamondbacks are willing to maybe move him. And that's Ketel Marte from the Arizona Diamondbacks. A lot of teams are calling about him, and it seems like they're picking up the phone and they're willing to move him. So, again, like I said on my own show, and I've said it on here before, I am willing to see the Phillies move Bryson Stott if a Ketel Marte is available. If a guy that's much better can hit the baseball more consistently and is just as good or around the same with the glove, I am all in favor of moving Bryson Stott. I think he's overrated, but we're not going to get into that. But if I'm the Phillies, I'm going to at least pick up the phone and try and see what they want for Ketel Marte. And then another guy from the Diamondbacks, because it seems like they're going to be sellers at the deadline. Eugenio Suarez seems like he's going to be traded here because the Mariners took Josh Naylor, I think, or it's another Naylor, whatever, one of the Naylors they took. So that does not, so Eugenio Suarez is still on the market there. Again, obviously, we continue to see the Jaron Duran, Aroldis Chapmans, the Byron Buxtons, the Johan Durans, the Baltimore Orioles with Felix Bautista and, Cedric Mullins or somebody, So I think it's just the same guys. It's just, when is Dave going to pull the trigger? Because we only have a couple days left of this. And I promise you, if we don't do anything, I'm going to go on my own show. I'm going to come on this show, and I'm just going to flip. I'm going to I may just set up my phone somewhere and flip a table or something. Jump through a table. I mean, it's just like you have a World Series contender right here, and I know I don't say that often, but this baseball team, I'm not saying that they're going to win a World Series, but they are capable of winning a World Series. They just need help. And if they had a competent general manager, because at this point, I'm not even going to call him a president of baseball operations because he's stupid. So he's just a general manager at this point. I'm just, I will flip a lid, and I'm not happy. So you have a couple days left, Dave Dabrowski, because I promise you, if he does nothing at this deadline and we get bounced in the first round or in the wild card or whatever the case is, he's gone. I think he's gone, and I think the fan base is behind moving him. But yeah, I think the same players are on the market or on the table. It's just who's he going to pull the trigger for? How are they going to do it? And what do we have to give up? Like, what prospects do we have to give up? But just as I stated, just a couple new, guys on the market that Phillies may trade for. Ketel Marte, Eugenio Suarez, which we heard of Suarez, but it wasn't like super big. But that's just where it is. We just need Dombrowski to get off his thumbs and do something big here.
There's a couple guys that I want to. Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. I really want a power bat outfielder. That's why Duran is probably at the top of my list. I know that there's been the rumors of that, but like a closing pitcher, man, or somebody that's just consistent, because I feel like they're one piece away from really having that strong bull. Like, they don't suck. They aren't the worst team in the world. They just have a couple pieces that need to be fixed. And I think that's normal with any baseball team. You know what I mean? Like, you see that a lot of different times. But they need to bring in one more piece if they want to make this push that they want to make, because otherwise they're going to end up like they did last year.
Well, I said this,
and that's going to be despicable.
I said this before, man. They needed like 1 to 2 bullpen arms still. They need a high leverage closer, and they needed like a high leverage late inning guy as well. So they need 2 bullpen arms. And you need an outfielder, because here's the thing. I mean, you could live with like a Brandon Marsh in left field or something. You could live with Brandon Marsh in left field or center field, but I can only live with that if we have a Jaron Duran, or if we have a Byron Buxton, or a Mike Trout, which is a long shot, so it's just, I can live with these certain guys in the lineup if there's other guys that we know are going to pick up the slack. Like Byron Buxton comes in, we know he's going to pick up the slack. Jaron Duran comes in, we know he's going to pick up the slack. Adolis Garcia, same thing. It's just, not only do Stephen Kwan, I forgot to bring up Stephen Kwan and Emmanuel Clase. Here's my thing, man. It's just, not only do we need power bats on this team, but we need guys that can just get on base and can use their legs, just get on base, get hits. start something. Not only can they hit home runs for power and drive guys in, but just get on base. And that's something that this team lacks, because when they're not hitting home runs, they're not hitting, and they're not scoring runs. So they need someone who can just hit the damn baseball consistently. I think you're muted again.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even realize. Sorry. I'm still organizing our stuff backstage too. But yeah, dude, you hit the nail on the head. They need somebody that can hit the ball. Somebody that can, I know Kelsey said it a couple months ago on WIP, like somebody with gutso was the word that he used. And I think that's such a great word, because you need just somebody that can come in with some juice. Somebody that can come in when everybody's down on themselves, everybody's looking down, because it can't just always be Kyle and Bryce. It can't be the Kyle and Bryce show all the time. You need other younger guys to step up. You need Trey to start getting a hold of a couple of them. I'm not saying Trey's having a bad season. He's having a phenomenal season. But, you know, we need a couple home runs too. So I think that they're capable of it. And I say it not to put down what they've done. I say it because I know they're capable of it, because we've seen it with them in the past, right? Like the Phillies signed these guys with that potential. So hopefully they bring in one more guy to kind of just put a fire under everybody's ass in a good way, right? Like remind them, hey, I'm not getting any younger. You can make a run at any time, and let's go for it. Let's try it. Why not? What's going on, Chuck? What's going on, Moose? Thank you guys for joining. Sam Nelson, I'm seeing in your here too. Appreciate y'all this morning. But yeah, I mean, the Phillies really need to go out and they need to find a guy that can make that impact for them, that can make that difference. Because if they find someone that can, they're going to make a run. They are. Mark my words. But moving along now to our next topic. I'll go ahead and go with this one first. I know Ryan will go next. But what are some things we want to watch for with the training camp, I guess, starting this week? Some preseason battles is what I'm alluding to. You got some cornerback position battles. You got a battle at right guard. We'll see who ends up winning that. Tight end 2 is always fun to watch on this team. Wide receiver 3 should be pretty much locked up this year. But safety as well. So getting right into it, I mean, safety number 1. I know that's something Broad mentioned. Talked about that on Wednesday as well. I think Sidney Brown is going to be the guy who ends up getting the job, because he had that pick 6 a couple years ago against the Cardinals. That was a beautiful play. But they're saying DeJean's taking reps. Now, that's kind of a trick question, because it's only in certain formations, like nickel package, for example. So it's not what you think it is. But I think, you know, the traditional strong safety or free safety that you're going to see lined up next to Reed, because I would assume that they would probably try to use Reed as a free safety now and try to use somebody else as the harder hitting safety, like Sidney Brown. I think that that's who's going to start there. Makuba could also be somebody. Second thing is I'm going to be watching the right guard battle. Tyler Steen is who I honestly think is going to take that position, so I'll keep that easy. But there are some other guys that could definitely make an impact. We thought it would be Tyler Steen last year, and then Mekhi Becton kind of came out of nowhere. But I do think that the Eagles will give Tyler Steen a shot at right guard, and it's his job for the taking this year. And then last but not least, I want to see how Kevin Patullo does with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has had to adjust so much in his career. And I almost think it's a good thing, right? Because it's like football is such a sport of being able to react, being able to adapt, being able to adjust of what's going on around you. And when you think about it, Jalen Hurts has really had to adjust his whole career with different coordinators, stuff like that. So I'm very excited to see how Kevin Patullo and Jalen Hurts do. I think the fact that he's been in the building for a little bit, Jalen should know him. I think it could go well. I could also see it going pretty bad, though, like the Brian Johnson thing went a couple years ago, because they fed us the same idea, right? They said, oh, this is a guy that's been in the building. Jalen knows him. We feel well about it, blah, 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 blah. So I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm very much excited to see how that whole discourse and how that relationship blossoms, for lack of a better term. What do you think, Rye?
Well, I just on like the Jalen Hurts and Patullo, it's like I feel better about Kevin Patullo coming in and taking over the job more than I did with Brian Johnson, because Brian Johnson was the QB coach for Jalen Hurts. That's correct. That's what he was, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like, well, Jalen Hurts was inconsistent passing. And now I know he had a very good 2022 year, but it was like we've seen flashes of him also having a hard time getting the ball out, having a hard time still reading defenses, throwing the ball away when he didn't have to. So I didn't think that Brian Johnson was the right move, but we were being manipulated by everybody saying, "Oh my God, this is an inside guy. This is a guy inside the organization. This is going to work well. He's going to help Jalen grow. It's going to be great. It's going to be perfect. The whole 9 yards." And he was terrible. He was awful. And it doesn't just fall on him. There's a lot of other factors as well. I mean, but I think this year's different. I think Patullo worked very closely with Kellen Moore, and I think they're going to continue to use a lot of things that Kellen Moore did. Then they're going to implement some new things, obviously. But I think that right now they found a system that works. They found a system that's going to stick because you have Saquon Barkley. Like you saw last year with Kellen Moore, what worked. You saw with Kellen Moore where you can use Jalen and he's effective. You saw last year with Kellen Moore what plays with Saquon Barkley actually do well and how we use Saquon Barkley to the best of his abilities. So I think they're going to grow on that and they're going to use that in the same way. So my hopes are high for Patullo. I mean, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh my God, we got another Brian Johnson 2.0. But I think he's going to do good. I mean, I think it's going to take some time, maybe of real in-game learning for this team, and then as the season goes on, they'll be better, of course. But I think that's that. When it comes to safety, but I'm really, of course, looking out for for Sidney Brown and Andrew Makuba. I think at this point, it's so hard to say I want Sidney Brown to take that position, because we haven't seen a fully healthy Sidney Brown in a very long time. And I mean, we haven't seen a fully healthy Sidney Brown, and we haven't seen a fully healthy Sidney Brown just play consistently. But we've seen him at Cuba out in college. So it's like, well, at this point, I think I'm going to give the edge to Makuba, but I'm not at that point. I'm not whoever they give it to. I know that they earned it. I'm okay with either guy. But I'm just concerned with Sidney Brown. Is he fully ready to go? It's just we haven't seen him play, man. We haven't seen him play a full season. We haven't seen him play legitimate snaps. I mean, so would I be okay with him starting? Sure. But I think in that position, I'm really looking for Makuba to take the reins. In corner, this is a tough one. I mean, it's Dory Jackson or Keely Ringo. I mean, I don't even know. I couldn't tell you who I would want. They did use Keely Ringo a couple times last year in some big spots. I didn't think he was great, but I also didn't think he was terrible. I thought he had some pretty good plays, pretty big plays, but I think that's a tough one. But I think the Eagles, to be honest with you, I don't know if they're done with they may bring another guy in, because remember, they brought Bradbury in pretty late. I think that's a factual statement, right? They brought Bradbury pretty late in the camp in 2022, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It was August, I think.
Yeah. So it's like, dude, you could maybe see that. So it's just like that. That's a tough one too, because I want the young guys to play, but Adoree Jackson also has maybe some more experience. So I'm not really sure there. And of course, I'm looking at right guard. I think Tyler Steen is going to win that anyway. We saw Tyler Steen do a pretty good job last year, and he's only going to grow more. And he played a lot of legitimate snaps at guard. And so I think you're going to see him get that job. And I'm okay with that. I actually really like Tyler Steen's. And I think that there's a couple holes on this team. Of course, safety, corner, the right guard situation, but I think the rest is good, man. Your defensive line, think you're pretty solid there. I mean, Jordan Davis looks great. I don't know if you're going to get into that thought, but you know my beef with Jordan Davis, and that guy looks great. So hopefully he's a big beast this year. But I think these holes on this team, like they're easily fillable. It's just they have to pick the right guy. But either way, I think Steens has it locked up. But I think Sidney Brown versus Makuba is going to be a good battle, and I think Adoree Jackson and Keely Ringo is going to be a big battle too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a ton of fun to watch what goes down this year in training camp. There's going to be a ton of battles. There's going to be a ton up for grabs because everybody wants to be on this team right now. I took a video of it last night, right? And you look at the way this offensive line talks, and they're all like little Jalen Hurts, right? They're all like, well, what we've done doesn't matter. We haven't accomplished anything this year, you know? We're not thinking about last year. We're not defending shit. We're going out on our own terms. And I think that's such a good thing because you got all the big boys up front believing in the same mantra. Then you got Saquon Barkley believing in the same mantra. You got A.J. Brown buying in. Devontae Smith bought in. Dallas Goedert bought in. The list goes on. My point is, you have all these guys that are already bought in, but not only already bought in, they've already done it. So they have the experience. That's dangerous. That's kind of what the Chiefs were a couple years ago. That's how you build a dynasty. And that video on my YouTube page that I posted last March, I want to say, of 2023, when they signed Saquon Barkley, or maybe it was June, I said a dynasty is incoming. This team is going to win 3 championships over the next 5 years. And everybody looked at me like I was crazy. One down, knocking on wood, injury aside. Second one, hopefully, probably coming. And then a third one, I think they could get. I mean, they are dangerous. And you look at the comments is the best part, my favorite part, Broad. And in the comments, everybody who's a fan of a different team just goes, oh, shit, they're winning another one. Oh, fuck, they're winning another one. Like, everybody around the NFL understands how dangerous it is. That, like, nobody's, like, got an ego on the Eagles is what I'm trying to say. Everybody's just like, yeah, it's a symbol. Like, cool, we're going to go get another one now. Like, nobody really cares that much about the ring. Like, they care, but they're not obsessing is what I'm trying to say.
Dude, when I saw Mailata, so I think it was the first day of training camp. So when Mailata got on the stage here and on the podium, and he's like, yeah, we won a Super Bowl last year, but that's last year. We're not defending shit. Do we want to go win another Super Bowl? Yeah, but we're not defending shit. Are we champions? Yeah, but we're champions in 2024. Right. Yeah. We're not champions of 2025. And I think that's the message that has been carried out by Nick Sirianni. And I think Nick Sirianni is going to do a good job of, keeping the team, not like having eyes that see out, but eyes that are focused on the prize. I think Vic Fangio is going to do a good job. I think this team, like, and everybody, like, nobody likes the Eagles, but everybody is like, oh, shit. Like, because everybody knows how Jalen Hurts is. And now you see the rest of the team being like Jalen Hurts. Everybody knows what's going to happen. And I'm not saying it's a lock for them to win a Super Bowl, but I'm saying that it's a damn good friggin' chance that they win a Super Bowl. And I think the rest of the team knows it. They just have to keep their head down, stay focused. And I think they're doing a good job of that, or at least they're putting on a good act. Maybe they should try acting if they're lying, you know what I mean? Because they're making it seem, and hopefully they're being serious, but they're making it seem like they're over last year. That doesn't mean anything. That's for us fans. Like, don't matter to them. They want more. And I think the goal was always to have more. This is just a stepping stone for more and a dynasty. Because in my opinion, I think they're going to do what the Chiefs couldn't do. And I think they may do it. Or I think that's what their goal is. Remember, the Chiefs beat us, and then they won again last year. And then, or the year before, yeah. So then the Eagles, then they lost to the Eagles on their three-peat year. So I think the Eagles may be wanting to try and secure that three-peat that the Chiefs were unable to do. But I think that they're doing it the right way. Forget about last year. It's all happy. We got our rings, whatever. We had our parade. We got hammered. We got whatever. Doesn't matter anymore. This is a new year, new training camp, new designs, some new guys, some new cats. And that's the thing about it is you have some new young cats on the team, and you don't want them to see that you're all like, oh, we don't have to do anything. We're the defending champs. You want them to see, oh, they still won a championship and they're still grinding. They're still playing. It doesn't even matter to them. They just want more. And I think that's the right place to be, because you don't want to just like, I don't know. You don't want to like just achieve something. You want to like master it and make it your own. And I think the Eagles are going to be able to do that. They may go back to back. They may even steal the 3-peat from the Chiefs. We don't know.
I'm ready for it, man. It's gonna be a ton of fun this year because they don't have anything to prove. It's more that they just have things to show off, right? That's the way that they got to look at it. Don't look at it as the pressure's on. Put the pressure on everybody else, because I think that's kind of what the Chiefs did a couple years ago. So they showed off. You remember some of those plays in the playoffs that they had with Tyreek Hill and Patrick Mahomes, right? Doing some dumb shit people thought was those formations, I remember. And they were having fun. And that's, I think, a part of the recipe is once you've achieved it, you need to keep it fun. Now, don't be like the Dallas Cowboys who are riding ponies with broomsticks at their training camp. Like, oh my God. But like, have fun, keep it fun, because when you play football and you keep it like backyard football and it's just, you're letting Saquon do his thing or AJ Brown and you're just tossing him and letting him run, keep it simple. I think that's another way to go out and win it. But before we get into our next topic, I actually have a piece of media I wanted to use. So we recorded this last year at a tailgate right before the Cowboys game. So December 29th, I think, 2024. So before anybody comments, but we had the Rams snow game. That's because it was after we filmed this, guys. So go ahead, watch it. We asked people outside Lincoln Financial Field, what do they think of a dome? Would they want the Eagles to build one? Here's what they said. Would you be happy if the Eagles built a dome?
I would be extremely happy. Yes and no.
Yeah, I would, but we definitely need to win another ring first.
The link's already pre-built to have a roof put on it if they wanted to. It could work out in many favors for us as fans as far as a noise scenario, kind of like how Jerry tries to do Jerry World, even though it fails because they suck. But we're also really good in the elements. It'd be nice just to see the upgrades happen to it, even if they did a half roof like the Dolphins.
How do you feel about the whole snow game aspect? Like, would you be mad that snow games will go away, or would you want a retractable roof?
I would say a retractable. Last time we had a snow game was against Detroit.
That was awesome, though.
I was actually here for that game with my uncle.
Dude, how about that memory?
Yeah,
what was that like?
That was absolute craziness. I didn't have to go to school the next day. That was a really good game to witness.
Dude, that's a crazy memory. So would you want those moments to go away? Like one day when you have a family and kids, would you still want to experience that?
I'll probably say we'll get another snow game or two eventually down the road. I don't know, if they invest in a retractable roof, it would bring that memories back, of course. We'll have more seats, a lot more fans. I think it'd be a good thing to do.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Well, that vlog is already out on our YouTube channel, so ignore that ending. If you want to go check it out, go check out 302 Birds on YouTube. But yeah, I mean, really interesting answers there. I was listening to WIP yesterday too, and they had a good question saying, would a retractable roof be a happy medium? I think it was the afternoon show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz. And they made a good point that if they have a roof, they're going to use the roof, right? Like they're not going to just have a roof on there and then have snow and not use it. So it's really a roof or no roof kind of thing. It's, do we want a roof with sunlight? Like, do we want a completely indoor stadium, or do we want, okay, it's sunny out, we can put the roof back, but there's not going to be any more inclement weather? I personally, I'm with all the fans that aren't for it. This is what Philadelphia stands for, is these snow games. Now, my biggest regret was not going with KJ to the Rams game this year, because I probably could have went, but I had a prior obligation I had to go to, and I had to do it. So I apologize for that, but I would have killed to be there, man, because I didn't know that it was going to be like that, like 2013 Detroit level. And I really hope that there's another one this year, because memories like that pictures like that, when you see, your aunts, your uncles, your relatives from the 90s in the inclement snow weather, cheering on their team, smiling, maybe a little bit boozed up, maybe a little bit not. That's a story for another day. But the point is, like, those photos are cool. That's what NFL fandom is all about. And having a dome is unfortunately going to take that away. Like, when you think about what the Minnesota Vikings used to have, right? Like, back when you were probably a little bit younger, Broad, back when I was a lot bit younger, they were very, very, like, just hard-nosed football city. You would have to come in there and beat them in their city in the cold, and that's how it was. Didn't matter how cold it was, you'd figure it out. You look at the Super Bowl, and they did host our Super Bowl, our first one in 2018. Go Birds. That was awesome. But in my opinion, I don't know. I think, and this is very drastic, I would love the Super Bowl to be played in the snow. Like, you pick a stadium in September, and if it snows that day, it snows. You better read the Farmer's Almanac. That's on you. I don't like this whole indoor shit, this, that, and now it's forcing teams that have a traditional outdoor stadium like the Eagles, who I think are a little bit revenue focused right now. They're doing what's the best thing for their pockets, and I can't blame them for that. They've earned the right. They want to host the bigger concerts and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It takes away the element of being a Philadelphian. What are your thoughts?
I'll tell you this, thought. I am totally against the Eagles bringing in a roof or a retractable roof. Any type of roof on that link, I am against it. Here's the thing. Football was made to be played outside in the heat, in the cold, in the rain, in the wind, in the snow. It was made to be played in the elements. You're going to take it away for what reason? So that we can have a Super Bowl in Philadelphia? I could care less. The league would never use Philly in the first place because they think it's a trashy city anyway. They would never pick Philly to have the Super Bowl there. I could care less. I don't want the Super Bowl here. I mean, it would be cool, sure, but it doesn't matter to me. Teams have a hard time coming to Philly, A, because of fans, and B, because our weather is weird, right? The Rams came in and we said, no matter what, the Rams are going to lose this game because they can't handle the cold and they can't handle the snow. That's an easy advantage for the Eagles, man. So it's like, not only was football made to be played in elements, but it helps the Eagles out a tremendous amount when you have the games being played in, here. When you have the games being played outside, man. I mean, it's just like, I'm so tired of teams that are like, oh, we need a roof. Dude, you don't. You're playing football. You're not doing gymnastics or something. You're playing football. It's like, I don't know. I'm against the roof. I don't want the roof. I hate the idea of a roof. Let them play outside. Let them play in the snow. Let them play in the wind. Like, you put a roof there, you take the element away. You take the coolness away of having a snow game. You take the coolness away of having a game in the rain, and your running back puts up 300 yards. I'm just exaggerating, 300 yards because your quarterback can't play football. Or you're taking away the coolness of a game that's being played out in the wind, and your quarterback, the ball sails far away because the wind's taking it. Like, that's the cool shit about football. You take that away, and it's all just because, like, I don't know, man. It's just the fan. I'm against it, and I think the majority of fans are against it. And it's like, if you do put a retractable roof in there, it's like, well, why would you spend all that money to put a roof in and then not use the roof? So for all the fans that are like, well, we may use the roof, we may not use the roof here and there. If they're going to have a roof, I promise you they're going to use the roof every single week. And I don't want that at all.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to take away what it means to be a Philadelphia Eagle. Just like, and no disrespect to the Vikings. I got a lot of friends that are Vikings fans. But I think that the old Vikings would look at the new Vikings in the face and proudly say, you are not the same Vikings that we were, right? Like, I don't think that that's a hot take. I don't think that that's a wild statement. It's true. You think about the weather that these guys used to play in. It was cold. bone-chilling cold. You want to think about Minnesota? That's probably the coldest stadium in, I would say, New England maybe gets up there, but Minnesota's right there up there in the Midwest where it all gathers up and it gets cold. That wind chill, it gets cold in Minnesota. Cold, cold. So I get why the Vikings did it, but at the same time, it's not the same Vikings. And like you said, football is a game that's meant to be played outside. Here's a question I got for you, Broad, as well. I want a historic stadium, right? And I think that Lincoln Financial Field at the moment is probably our closest thing to it. Nothing, no disrespect to Wells Fargo, no disrespect to the bank. But when you think about what the Eagles have achieved, what we've seen in that stadium now, I would like to keep Lincoln Financial Field around for a long time. I'd like to keep it outside. I think Philadelphia is in a good spot that most of the year you can play those games outside, and then you could have a couple snow games here and there. I wonder if the NFL is almost pushing the Eagles to put on a roof because they feel like Philadelphia has an unfair advantage because, you know, everybody hates Philly. You just said it yourself. I don't know that Jeffrey Lurie would buy into that, but I want to know, in your opinion, like, I'd be pissed if they tore down the Link. I want a historic stadium to show my kids one day when I take them there. Like, that would be cool for me to have tradition. What do you think on that? Do you want a historic stadium or do you want a modern stadium?
Yeah, I want to keep the Link. And here's my thing when it comes to that. And it's like, well, my whole life growing up, my family, my dad, my mom, I mean, everybody, my friends, everybody, it's always, oh, dude, you never got to experience the friggin' vet, bro. Bro, you never got to go down to the vet and go experience that shit. And it's like, dude, that's what the Link's supposed to be. The Link's supposed to be the vet. And it's like, you know, obviously I never got to experience what the vet was like, and it is what it is. But the Link, I think we're trying to make the Link like the vet, and that's fine. But if you want to make the Link just like the vet, you have to keep it for a long time. And I'm not in favor of building a new stadium. I think the stadium's fine. I just like, I don't like bringing modernness into like sports like that. I like the old school feel. That's why I love Fenway. That's why I love Wrigley. I love the old school stuff. And I'm not saying the Link is old school because it's new. I mean, it's nice. It's beautiful. But I don't want to take that away and go build a brand new monstrous stadium with 100,000 seats. And, you know, like, I don't want that. And that's just, so I want the Link to be around for a long time. And I want to show my kids, I want to show everybody, like, dude, this was me back when I was 18 years old at the Link, and now I'm like 40, and it looks the exact same. Well, I mean, it's, you know, it's cooler and, you know, it's nicer and renovated and whatever, but damn, I was standing right here. Here I am, you know, 30 years later. So it's like, you know, that, I mean, that's what I want. And I think Jeffrey Lurie and the Eagles, the whole organization, I think they understand that and get that and respect it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I hope that they do, because you're right. Standing there being able to bust my kids' balls. Hey, I may look old as fuck now and I maybe look younger there, but, you know, we had some good times here. You know, we were some knuckleheads then. And I know that, you know, my kids and their kids, and for generations of Philadelphia Eagles fans, they will safely have good fun. That's what it means to be an Eagles fan, is those parking lot memories. You got so many people like my sister, right? Like my girlfriend, that'll go to the game just for moments like that, right? It's not about football. It's about being with family, being dressed out, decked out in green, the Kelly green or midnight green. It don't matter as long as you got on some kind of green on Sunday. Mafia. And with that being said, I know that it is the Phillies season. We're getting into the Eagles season. It's going to be here before we know it. We got the preseason game coming up, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. But I want to give a quick advertisement to our friends over at Frost Buddy. Let's roll the tape.
Yeah, bro. Well, just remember, Dallas sucks. Hey, can you pass me another beer?
Yeah, I got you.
No, I can't do a Surfside. It's got to be a beer. This cooler's a one size only. Sorry.
Look at this. The Frost Buddy, man. You got to try this.
Really? How's that work?
Universal can cooler.
It's a universal, you said?
So basically, you can do any size can. Tall or skinny, I'm talking Surfsides, High Noons, beers, Miller Lights. You can even do Snapples and Gatorade bottles.
Oh, dude.
You gotta check this thing out. And of course, you could rock out with the best team in the MLB. Ring the bell, the Phils.
Yeah, that thing looks fire.
Go get one for yourself. Best team in the MLB. Make the Mets look like a bunch of babies. Cheers to Frost Buddy. I love this freaking thing. Every can, every bottle. Frost Buddy, the real MVP of this summer. Available now in the 302 Birds TikTok shop. Stay frosty.
You heard the man. You can go get it now in our TikTok shop. I freaking love this thing. And the cherry pinstripes, as they would say, shout out to Shelfie and John Boy Media. But those red pinstripes that the Phillies got going on are electric. Just a signature moment and a signature cooler. So go get one for yourself. But moving along now to our last topic of the show. I don't know if you saw it, Fraud, so I'll give you a second. I'll go ahead first. But this is something I know every guy from a childhood is going to watch probably this weekend at some point. I had to watch it last night when it came out because I had forgot that this was coming out at first. I love Adam Sandler movies, notoriously. I just have always loved them. Grown-ups, you name it, I love it. So my point is, Happy Gilmore was such a good first movie. I rewatched it with my girlfriend the other night. She had never seen the first one. So I'm like, oh, we got to watch this. So we watched it Thursday night. Then last night we watched number 2. Oh my God, dude. It just brought back the memories of all the awesome Adam Sandler movies, the comedic genius that he is. I mean, like I said, you got Happy Gilmore, Grown Ups, which was one of my favorites. There was a couple Big Daddy references in there. Click was a good one. I'm just going through because there's so many of them. Uncut Gems, he did such a great job. And The Water Boy, for God's sake. So this is just going to go down on the list as Adam Sandler all-time great moments for movies. I'm not going to spoil anything for the people who haven't watched it because I know it just came out. But what I will say is this without spoiling it. There is a lot of surprises and references to the first movie. The first 5 minutes, you're going to be really confused. You're going to be like, what am I watching? This is an emotional roller coaster. After that, you will settle in and you'll kind of understand the tone for the movie and what it's supposed to represent and mean. And it's supposed to make you laugh your ass off the whole time. And it definitely did that. The first one did that. I forgot how funny it was. And the second one, I really got to give credit because anybody that watches movies knows that like the sequel notoriously sucks ass. And I'm telling you guys, if you haven't seen it, not going to spoil anything for you, but please go watch it tonight or this weekend because you will be happy you did. Your laughter will thank me later because it is an Adam Sandler classic.
I have not watched it yet. I plan on watching it this weekend. The first Happy Gilmore is one of my favorite movies. I love all Adam Sandler movies. But yeah, I mean, so far I've heard a lot of good things about it from you and from other people that have watched it. I don't know. I guess it's going to bring back some childhood. I mean, I'm not too old, obviously, but it'll bring back some things from back in the day. But I'm excited. But I am going to watch it sometime this weekend, so don't spoil anything.
I got you, brother. No worries. It's good, though. You'll be happy you watch it. And text me after you watch it. I want to hear your review.
All right, yeah, of course.
It's a really good one. I think a lot of you guys, and feel free to let us know in the DMs. Maybe that'll be our call-in question this week as we get some reviews. We'll give people time to watch it, and then on the main show, maybe we'll do that. But it definitely made me happy. It was great. And let me know, did any of you guys get that Odyssey putter? I'm looking at it on Facebook Marketplace. It's like freaking $650, man. That is way too much for a putter. But yeah, there's just so many great moments in that movie. What's going on, Fratty? Good morning, brother. Good to see you in here. Fratty's getting ready for the Phillies post-game show later today. But yeah, great movie. I would say 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. You'll be happy you did. And other than that, though, that's pretty much all I got. Bro, do you have anything you want to say before we wrap up today?
No, I'm just let's have a good Phillies game today. Make sure when you guys are done watching this show, you guys go down the shore, go outside. It's a beautiful day out there. Don't let this day go to waste. But yeah, let's have a good Phillies series. We had a great show. Thank you all for joining. Make sure to subscribe to 302 Birds, to me, to everybody. And I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, please make sure to go follow us at Sippin' Sports on Instagram. And then if you go on Sippin' Sports bio, we got Broad's literal Instagram right there. So you can just click the link at Broad Street Sports _ I believe. So make sure you please give him a follow. Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube as well, because one of us is usually covering the Phillies. If not, we'll collaborate in some way. But he has awesome post-game shows. And if you love his rants, you got to go check him out on there, because I listen to him a lot myself. I'm a huge fan. So please go check him out. Go check out what he's doing. And like he said, touch some grass today, guys. It's a beautiful day. Have some fun. Get out there with your family and enjoy the weather. You put that well, man. I mean, I think you got to get out there and enjoy some sunlight, because too many people just live inside.
Absolutely, dude. I mean, you got to go outside, man. Go in the pool, walk down the street. I mean, you got to go do something. People just want to sit inside all day, watch movie. Dude, why you could watch movies during the fall and winter, man? You got to go outside now. Let's go outside now. Let's go to the beach.
Let's do it. I love it, man. Well said. Well, I hope everybody has a safe, fun weekend. Rye, thank you for joining me as always. Man. Thank you for bringing the energy, man. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend yourself. And it's all you guys. Same thing. Have a great weekend. KJ McCoy and Mikey D, bring that energy. Have some fun. And let's go, Phillies.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Phillies sports talk morning show.